Hey guys, Horror Man back for another review. So today we're going to take a look at the brand new Neomorph figure from Alien Covenant. Now this is made by NECA Toys and it's part of their ongoing Alien figure line. Now this figure is in a different packaging than we've seen with some of the other Alien figures. It's more in that anniversary style box packaging that we've seen with the DC Films figures and some of the other like Predator anniversary style figures. So of course it's in this nice collector's box that you can reseal. See the figure clearly displayed here. Get this awesome picture from the Alien Covenant movie. And then on the side you can see some different pictures. Kind of looks like an X-ray style picture or just like a really creepy picture here. Then it says Alien Covenant. And then you can see how this like xenomorph skull kind of just wraps around to the front, and you can see like the neck, really cool looking. And then it just says Neomorph on the back here, Alien Covenant. See some more kind of creepier pictures, and then if you just want to read over the little kind of story of Alien Covenant, go ahead and pause it and read that. And then on the bottom of the box, you just get all the different credits for NECA, and then some of the different licensing, and then of course the UPC code. And it's worth noting, if you do want to hang this, of course you do get this little tab for the wall. So let's go ahead and take this out of the box and get a closer look. Alright, so here he is out of the box. Now it does come with a couple different accessories. One of them is actually more of a character than an accessory. But I just want to go ahead and take a look at these real quick. You do have the interchangeable head, which is going to be more of a closed mouth, and then you also get the infant. Okay, so here's the Neomorph with the newborn, and you could definitely see a giant size difference here, which is really cool. So I definitely like how these look together. Now just taking a quick look at this little newborn, you could see it's definitely got just a lot of like lumps in the sculpt and just covered in blood. Got these cool little spikes coming out of the back. Now these are definitely just on that rubbery plastic material. Now even though this is so small, you actually do get articulation here. You can you know, rotate the head almost, yeah, you can rotate it all the way around. You can move the arms a little bit. They're a little tricky, but you can move them and they will stay in position. And then the legs can also be moved, which is really neat for something so small. And it doesn't really feel like it's going to break or anything. I feel like I could move this pretty simply. You don't have any like really fragile plastic on here. Even the tail is done with just that same flexible material as the spikes on the back. So really cool for its size. I think this is a really cool little piece here. Looking at the closed mouth head sculpt, it's got this really radical look to it. You can't see a lot of details in here unless you really look close, but it does look like there's some teeth kind of hidden back there. Can't really see much for eyes or anything. It's a very strange look. Not my favorite head sculpt, but it does look pretty wild anyway. It's got that same long pointy back of the head. And then you could see how the ball peg is actually in the neck as opposed to underneath the head. But yeah, really good detail. And it is worth noting that this head sculpt is definitely based off the suits that the actors wore in the movie, not necessarily what the CGI looked like. So you might just see some differences here when you go back to watch the movie. Alright, and here is the head sculpt the Neomorph comes with right out of the box, and I think this is so cool, man. Now of course it has that same exact you know, look as the other one has, as far as like the sculpting in the head and in the side. But just with that open mouth, you really do get a different look here, and I just think it looks so much cooler and scarier the way this is. I really like the details and teeth and the gums, and you can even see that little tongue sticking out there. So really neat looking. And again, that head is, the ball peg is on like the neck, not necessarily like where it would normally be under the head sculpt. But yeah, really cool. I think this is definitely going to be the look that I'm going to go with just displaying him. I just think it looks seriously scary. Okay, now if you want to go ahead and pop the head off and put this different head sculpt on here, again, you have the peg right in the neck here. So we'll just go ahead and pop this off, and it's definitely a little tight, but it should just fit right into that hole. And then just give it a nice push, and it snaps in there pretty well. And again, I mean, this is a much different design. It really just depends on what your personal preference is. You may want to switch it out here and there. But yeah, he's still pretty creepy looking. And here's just a full body shot of him with this different head sculpt. And just looking at the torso here, you could definitely see some great details in just the ribs and the neck. I mean, you could really see kind of like the bone structure of what the Neomorph, you know, looks like. Just really neat looking here. And one of my favorite parts about this design is these like spikes on the back. Now the Xenomorph definitely has like more of like these tubes off the back, but these are much more sharper with the Neomorph. But these are also, again, on that more softer material, so you don't have to worry about any kind of breakage or anything. But yeah, just I love the details and the ribs and how like bony he looks. You can see more of these little spikes. You got the little ones, and then just like this harder one. And this one definitely is a little bit harder than these, but it doesn't seem like it's going to break or anything like that. And then he's got these really kind of creepy looking fingers, very long. But again, great detail here. But yeah, just really long hands, just very eerie, kind of like ghostly. And then to the lower half of the figure, again, I mean, you got the great detail just continued in here. You can see just like the legs are very, got like bony. You have these bones kind of, you know, just sticking up really high. And then onto the side, you can see different bone structure. And then the tail, of course, is nice and long. And again, this is bendable just like any of the Xenomorphs would be. And then just really good detail on here. And luckily you do have the peg hole, which is really nice, so that'll help you stand him. He's a little tough to stand. Definitely would recommend a stand for him. But I like all the little brush effects on the feet and everything. Really give him this bony, ghostly look. I think NECA's really captured this design well. Now, just like all the different alien figures, the articulation on here is pretty good for what it is. You know, you could definitely turn the head pretty good side to side. It's very tight. Might have to loosen up a little bit, but it seems to move pretty good. He can't look down super far. He can look up pretty good though. Again, you just have to kind of loosen these up just a little bit. Arms can go all the way out and all the way down. You do, of course, have what looks to be a double joint at the elbow, or at least he can you know, rotate the elbow very far. You can, you know, turn the wrist. He can move the wrist really far up and then also down. And then in the, you know, the rib cage, you can definitely move him side to side, and then you can move him up and down, and then rotate just a little bit side to side like that. And not much here. It looks like it's just all sculpted to one piece. You can't move the legs out really far just because of this, but if you turn them, you can get just a little bit farther. And then you do have the double, you know, knee joint. You can move the feet pretty far up and down, almost like a ballerina. And then you can pivot the ankle here. You also have just a little bit of articulation in the feet even, so you have that great little foot articulation. So very cool they put that in. And then again, just to show it, you do have the bendable tail here, so you can move it any way you want. You can even just use this tail to hold them up if you don't want to get a stand for them. The tail tends to work pretty good with standing up these aliens. But I mean, all around, great articulation. I mean, you can get them in a lot of different poses. First comparison here is the Neomorph next to the NECA Xenomorph, and you could definitely see a pretty good difference in the height here, and then the Xenomorph's definitely more filled out. And then this is the big chap. This is the original alien. So these look pretty cool next to each other. The Neomorph is supposed to be thinner and you know, shorter. So, but I think they look really cool, and you can see how much different these designs really are. And here's the Neomorph next to Ripley from Aliens, and these two are just about the same height. If you stand up this Neomorph just a little bit straighter, it might be just a little bit bigger than her, but overall, he's about the size of a regular human. Here's the Neomorph next to the chair suit engineer, and this is from the same, basically the same time period, so you can see he's pretty big too. These were like more superhumans, so they're about the size, maybe just a little bit smaller than Xenomorphs. But these look, again, really cool next to each other. The Neomorph newborn next to some of the other alien critters. You have the face hugger in the middle, and then the chest burster on the left. So he scales pretty good with all these other little creatures. And for the last comparison, here's just a shot of all of them next to each other. Alright, so that's my review. Overall, I think this is a really cool figure. If you're a fan of the Alien Covenant line, or you've just been collecting the line of aliens, I think you'd really like this. The accessories aren't like real heavy, but you do get some cool unexpected things. I think this little you know, newborn is pretty neat, and I like the fact that you do get the two interchangeable heads. I will say that the interchangeable head with the teeth showing is far superior to the regular head that it comes with. So I kind of like that head was on it in the box already, just in case you're like a minimum box collector. But I really think that NECA did a really good job of capturing what we kind of expected this to look like. Now, unfortunately, with the CGI edits that they've done to the movie, it kind of throws off the Neomorph look just a little bit, and you know, NECA definitely made these to look like the pictures they got, which were people in the suits. So you might just see some differences here and there, but overall, I think it's captured it close enough to what we would expect from it. And I really do love this packaging design with this big you know, skull in the front. I think it looks really cool. I guess my only really complaint about this figure is it just doesn't stand that great. So you definitely want to figure out a good stance for him, or just maybe you think about getting a stand. But yeah, overall I think this is a cool figure. I found this at Toys R Us for $22.99. Alright, so if you liked the video, please like it, please subscribe, leave a comment or a question, and until next time guys, see ya.